And we're going to get started this morning with the Geraldine Bulldogs and Coach Michael Davis. Coach, if you would either introduce the players, let them introduce themselves, their position, and we'll get started this morning and some opening comments after that from you.
Yes, I'm Coach Michael Davis. I'll start over to my right here. We have senior Kyle Witten, number 35, junior Eli Slaughter, number 13, senior Jake Dollar, number 3, senior Joe Garcia, number 0, and senior Colin Willis, number 54. These guys have played a lot of football. They've represented our brand of football really well throughout the years, and they deserve to be in the seats beside me today. Outlook on the season, we go from, Region 6 to Region 8. We go to some unfamiliar opponents. We transition. We have some of our non-region opponents becoming region opponents again, and some closer games, and then we have some games where we'll be on the road traveling a little further, but we're looking forward to the opportunity. Non-region opponents, we got some closer opponents, some opponents from the Marshall County area on the schedule we're looking forward to as well. We're looking forward to it, but just, more than anything, just really soaking up each and every week and each and every moment we have together.
One thing, guys, before I ask the first question, if in media, Dave, where are you? You're right here. He'll have the microphone, so if you have a question, just let Dave know and we'll get the microphone to you. We appreciate it. So, Coach, last year, great season for the Geraldine Bulldogs, came very close, going state championship game. A lot of seniors on that team, a lot of production from that team that's not with you this year. That's last year, this is this year. Talk about some of the guys that's got to step into those positions now for the Bulldogs this year.
Yeah, we returned 6 on offense and 5 on defense. Lost 15 seniors. We have 10 seniors returning. You can't replicate experience. That's one thing that you can't. But we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of guys that are stepping into roles, new roles, but may have started last year. We started 4 8th graders at some point last year. People look at those guys, but we had one freshman that played in 22 games, or he was an 8th grader and played and he dressed out, put the jersey on 22 times. Like, you can't replicate experience, and one thing that we do, we don't cancel JV games. Like, we play our JV games, and, people from the community, I've gotten asked that a million times, how the Bulldogs going to be? How the Bulldogs going to be? How the Bulldogs going to be? That's the one thing. We didn't really want to cancel our spring game, and we wanted a premier opponent in our spring game. It ended up getting canceled due to weather and things like that, but I just get tired of getting asked that same question over and over, to be honest with you. And then when we start playing, and they're like, so-and-so came out of nowhere. No, he didn't. He's played 8 JV games every single year. He's experienced. He's ready to go. And our guys take pride in playing JV games, and so we know what they can do because we have film and we can teach off that film. You can't replicate experience, but we have a lot of guys that are hungry, and when you expect to win, that goes a long way as well.
Hey, Michael, Coach, good to see you. Good to see the players. I did want to ask, because you've had so much success, Michael, over your tenure, how important is it to have these guys that have had valuable playing experience, whether they've been somewhere in the 2 deep, somewhere involved in this program, to get them prepared to have an opportunity this year to kind of fill in the roles with so many seniors gone from last year?
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing, how to handle winning as well. That's one big thing that, from 2023, or from 2022 to 2023, the success that we had in 22, and getting that feeling of success going into 2023, how to handle in the big stage, how to handle the cameras when they're on you, how to handle your business when all their eyes are on you. It's easy. I tell these guys all the time, it's easy to get on top. It's easy to climb there when no one expects you to. But when you get there, what's hard is to stay there, because everyone has you circled. Everyone wants to knock you off. So are you doing everything each and every day to make sure that you're successful? Are you taking care of your business on and off the field, making sure that you're successful? And consistency, that's been the biggest deal for us, been the biggest deal this offseason. Can we stack days? Can we have a good Monday? Can we stack it with a good Tuesday? Can we stack it with a good Thursday? And when we do that and we find consistency, throughout all the grind, then we're going to be successful. Because there's nothing fun about when your buddies are going to the river and the lake or the beach, and you have 5:30 workouts and you're not getting home until 8:30 and you're tired. There's nothing fun about that because you got to tell your buddies no. But at the same time, your buddies are the ones that are going to be like, "Dang, I wish I would have played." You know, they're the same ones when we win big games, they're the first ones to run on the field. And these guys understand that. You know, throughout the process, that's where you find the people that are worth being in your circle. If they're not there during the process, everyone wants to be a part of the outcome, but no one wants to be a part of that other 42 weeks out of the year where you're grinding. You know, we're only guaranteed 10 weeks. You know, what are we doing the other 42 weeks throughout the year? And these guys understand how important it is to attack each and every week.
Well, Coach, the expectations have been really built high. You know, they are in DeKalb and Jackson County because it's so competitive top to bottom. How do you deal with those expectations? How do you keep the kids from getting complacent?
Staying on them. That's one of the hardest things because outsiders pat them on the back all the time. You know, they get told how good they are. They get told this. They get told that. I think, you know, they understand that, hey, really, because a lot of these guys were part of the groups where, hey, y'all don't have a chance. And the only people that believe we're the people in the locker room. That's it. They've been a part of that. A lot of these guys beside me have. And they've knocked off the number one teams in the state. They've knocked off several ranked teams, so they understand. They expect to win, but they also understand if they don't do what they're supposed to do, you're not going to win. And when we talk about winning, we don't talk about points on the left versus points on the right. We talk about winning everything. Like, we're going to dominate each and every play. That's our goal. And then we're going to be disciplined. We want to be the most fundamentally sound team. If we're not that, like, we're not going to have the most points at the end of the game. But there's too many fine points throughout the game, and you don't know when those points are going to come. Whoever is the most disciplined, most fundamentally sound team is usually going to win. And, you know, for us, in order for us to win the games that we want to be, we have to strive to be perfect. We have to be in everything that we do. Now, we're going to be perfect, but no, but that's what we have to do. We have to strive to be perfect in everything that we do.
Hey, Coach. So last year you averaged 39 points a game, only 5 average more. The second in defense, you know, 1 point per game differential, 23 points per game you're winning by. You've won 74% of your games as a head coach, and then you get to last year where you almost had and you lost kind of in the last minute. How do you take that and use that for motivating for this year, but also that you're not sneaking up on anybody? People know how good you are now.
Yeah, it's when you get to playoffs, number one, you have to make the playoffs. In order to do that, you got to take it every game, you know, game in and game out. But when you get to the playoffs, everything has to align for you. You know, injury, you know, with low numbers the way that we have, you have to make sure that you're staying healthy. You know, you have Thanksgiving break, you have Christmas break. You got to make sure that your guys are locked in, you know, and showing up and taking care of their body the way they need to take care of their body. But, you know, for us, you know, there's so many teams around here that's had success. Just dreaming of playing for a state championship for a lot of kids sometimes seems unreachable, you know, but when you ingrain it into a kid and get them to believe, you know, that's it. You know, you got to get kids to believe that, hey, they can do anything, you know, if they set their mind to it. But, hey, here's the blueprint. You know, if you want to be successful, here's the blueprint. You know, and when you start winning games that people don't think you're supposed to win, then you get kids believing, and that's where you create buy-in.
Coach, last year you guys won 12 games. It was the first time Geraldine had done so since 2000. So what does it take to kind of reestablish that standard and get back to where you guys were last year?
In order to reestablish that standard started as soon as that last game was over. You know, that's where we started going to work. We took a week off, and then we got right back to it, you know, and attacking each and every day like we're not promised tomorrow when we're not. So we're going to live for today, These guys, we ain't even been asleep. We had a team camp last night, had a really good time. One was slow getting here because he had to go and get his stuff. We're living for the day. As soon as we get done here, I text Jeff, said, hey, Jeff, can we go first? Because we're about to go have a good time and play Topgolf. You know, like that's who we are. We're going to have a really good time together and living for the moment because we're not going to get this. There's not going to be another class of 25. Class of 25. There's not going to be another, you know, like last year that group left. Even though these guys were part of that team, this team's going to be different. And that's what you're always searching for as the season goes on, is this team's identity. You know, like, you're not going to ride the coattail of last year's team, even though you were on it. Like, we got to find this year's team's identity. And, you know, throughout that process, we're going to do it, and we're going to have a really, really good time. Now, they know they're going to, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, then they're going to get it. But they know at the end of the day that we love them. We love them, and if we're not having a good time, then why are we doing what we're doing?
Coach, it's good to see you again, and I look forward to coming and visiting with you later this season. But I wanted to ask the players, and Coach kind of alluded to it there. What have you guys been doing this offseason? I know Coach had mentioned missing out on the spring game because of weather and all that. That's things out of your control. But what have you done this offseason? I know you mentioned doing the team camp last night and going to go have some fun today. But what have you guys done to rebuild your chemistry and get back, as Max alluded to a moment ago, to get back to that standard for yourselves, a standard that you set for yourselves, not just by the coaches, but for you? What have you guys done?
We have, as far as staying together and, you know, rebuilding or staying together and building chemistry with each other. A lot of that's from just playing so many games with each other, and we keep a really tight ship with each other. Nobody's really left out, and you know, we make sure that, I mean, yeah, we're going to get on each other if, you know, somebody's doing something they ain't supposed to. But at the end of the day, we make sure that everybody knows that we're there for them and that we love them.
Coach, several of your players have been real popular on social media for their acts of kindness. That is something you instill a lot. Can you tell us a little bit more about these guys? I think I see a couple of them up there right now, that lifted the trailer up for the person that needed their tire changed. How do you do that? How do you instill that to make a leader on and off the field?
None of the guys are up here, but we're super proud of them. You know, we always talk about if you live a life and you make sure someone else is going to be okay, you're going to be okay. You know, like we live in a selfish world. We really do, and we're all about servant leadership. That's what we've been preaching this entire time. What are you doing for someone else? You know, like and these guys have a role if they're on the field or off the field, or if they're, you know, physically on the field or physically on the sideline, they have a role. If they're on the sideline, they know their job is to make sure that the person on the field is doing what they're supposed to be doing, you know, and making sure that the younger ones are doing what they're supposed to be doing. Just servant leadership, you know, serving someone, you know, putting yourself, and that's the biggest, it's not popular, you know, it's not one of them things because you don't get all the fame, you don't get all the glory, but just making sure someone else is okay, you know, and that's one thing that our guys just, they understand. Like, we don't have to say it anymore. They understand that, hey, if a younger one, for example, we're getting on a younger one yesterday for a mistake that he made, and the older guys are putting their hand around him, coaching him up. You know, like these guys right here help me out so much, regardless if they realize it or not, because it just, and they probably don't even think about it. It's just second nature at this point, you know, and I commend them for that. But yes, servant leadership is one of our big core values in our program.
You guys want to wrap it up this morning. A question for the players I'd like all of you to answer. Guys, talk about team goals this year for the Geraldine Bulldogs, and also if any of y'all have personal goals for this 2024 season coming up.
Well, obviously, we want to make it to the state championship like everyone. You know, we want to have a good season. We want to put God first, let everybody know that we didn't do this without him, and we couldn't do it without him. And that, and I hope someone finds God during our games and during our things that we have or anything. And as a team, we just want to win it all. We want to take it home and dominate every single opponent we play. That's about it.
We've talked about this before as a team. It's not only to win games, like Coach Davis said before, not just to win it on the scoreboard, but just completely dominate every game, and obviously win the region and make it to state. That's a big dream of just about everybody on the team. And some people say that they want to make it to state, but they don't mean it. They don't believe that that's even possible. But we've got a lot of guys on the team that believe that that's possible, and that could help a team so much. But yeah, just win the region and dominate every game.
Some of the goals you mentioned that we have as a team and personal goals. As a team, I feel like we need to grow closer and together than we are right now, and I feel like that's really possible. And we might be close now, but imagine what we could do if we're even closer and together as a brotherhood and what we could go through.
For like goals and stuff, I want us to try to go to state. I know that we can if we put as much effort as we do, as practice, keep it consistent, doing every little thing right. I believe that we can do it. We came extremely close last year, and like Joe said, I want some of our players to get closer to God. I myself, I want to get closer to God and fix my ways. Yep.
Mark, we got to go. We got others behind you. All right, go ahead, son.
All right, so our team goals is win region and go to state and win on and off the field.
Okay, thank you, guys. Good luck to the Geraldine Bulldogs this year. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, guys, for coming today.